Do you want to be more valued by others, at work and in your personal relationships, without having to chase praise or external approval? If so, it's time to return to the timeless principles of Stoicism, strengthening your inner core, living with virtue, acting with calmness, and letting your true worth speak for itself. You'll no longer be dependent on the shifting opinions of others. Instead, you'll build a solid foundation from within, something that naturally earns respect because people can feel the quality, consistency, and kindness reflected in everything you do, every conversation you engage in, and even in the way you face adversity. In this video, we'll walk through 13 practical strategies inspired by the spirit of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, but translated into everyday actions: mastering your craft, communicating clearly, building meaningful relationships, taking initiative, collaborating wisely, creating an authentic personal brand, exceeding expectations, standing up for yourself, developing emotional intelligence, committing to lifelong learning, maintaining a positive attitude, practicing sustainable self-care, and celebrating your achievements with mindfulness. The first strategy is to become genuinely excellent at what you do. True value doesn't come from how others see you. It comes from the quality of what you create. The Stoics believe that those who work with full presence don't need to talk much about themselves. When you pour your mind, heart, and character into your work, your value speaks for itself. To become valuable isn't about seeking recognition. It's about improving yourself to the point where no one can deny your worth. When you truly master your work, you stop being driven by external validation. You begin to measure yourself by your own standards, the standards of diligence, integrity, and responsibility. And that very consistency makes others trust you, even if they never say it out loud. Because this world doesn't need more people who just talk well. It needs people who are genuinely good at what they do. Working with heart is never out of style. It builds a kind of credibility that no title or reputation can replace. The credibility born from consistency and quality. When people seek you out because they trust your competence and character, that's when you've truly become valuable. Not because they say so, but because you've become living proof of it. In the end, the Stoic doesn't strive to be admired. They simply focus on doing their work well every single day until excellence and integrity become second nature. The second strategy is sharp communication. In a noisy world where everyone wants to be heard, very few truly know how to listen. That's why calm communicators, those who speak little but speak right, are often the most respected. To Stoics, communication isn't just a social skill. It's a direct reflection of an ordered mind. The way you speak mirrors the way you think. When your words are clear, concise, and precise, it means your thoughts have been organized, disciplined, and purified of unnecessary emotion. The Stoics believe that strength doesn't lie in speaking much, but in saying what's necessary, at the right time, in the right way, and for the right purpose. Before speaking, they ask themselves, will this bring value to the listener? Is it true, kind, and necessary? This mindset helps them avoid two common traps in communication: showing off knowledge and reacting emotionally. When others argue fiercely, they feel no need to win the conversation. When misunderstood, they don't rush to defend themselves. They understand that not everything needs to be explained, and sometimes the right silence speaks louder than any argument. A person who speaks calmly, listens sincerely, and responds with intention is always seen as trustworthy. In an era where everyone wants to make grand statements, those who speak little but speak rightly hold the greatest influence. Communication ceases to be a tool for attention and becomes an art of inner control, where words reflect the honesty of reason, character, and respect for others. Strategy 3. Build meaningful relationships. People often think their value is measured by status, skills, or achievements. But from a Stoic perspective, true worth lies in the quality of the relationships we cultivate. A person can be talented, yet if they fail to earn trust or show genuine care, their value exists only in isolation. Conversely, those who can build authentic relationships through respect, consistency, and kindness are always seen as truly valuable, even if they are quiet or unassuming. Relationships are the true testing ground of character. In daily interactions, through words, reactions, and attitudes, our true nature is revealed most clearly. Honesty builds trust, empathy creates connection, consistency earns respect. When you speak what you mean, do what you say, and keep your word even when no one is watching, others perceive your depth. Not through words, but through the way you show up. The hardest part isn't finding good people, but maintaining a good heart when facing those who aren't. There will be times when you're misunderstood, betrayed, or give without receiving in return. But instead of letting disappointment close you off, see it as an opportunity to cultivate patience and compassion. In Stoic philosophy, we cannot control others, but we can control how we respond to them. And it is this response that defines our character. Strategy 4. Take initiative and responsibility. In any group, there are two types of people: those who wait to be told what to do, and those who see what needs to be done. The first waits for instructions, the second steps up and takes ownership. The difference between them isn't just in ability, but in a mindset of ownership. Daring to step forward, taking responsibility, and not fearing judgment when mistakes happen. In Stoic philosophy, this reflects living according to reason, acting proactively rather than passively, guided by values rather than commands. Not everyone is born with a natural leadership instinct, but anyone can learn to take responsibility for themselves. Taking initiative doesn't mean doing everything yourself. It means recognizing what needs to be done and acting before anyone has to remind you. When you identify a problem and quietly address it, you create real value, not just for others, but for your own growth. Initiative transforms you from a doer into a creator, while a sense of responsibility helps you maintain the trust of the group, even when no one is watching. The ability to take responsibility also means accepting mistakes as part of the process. Stoics do not fear failure because they know the only things truly within their control are effort and attitude. When outcomes fall short, they don't blame or make excuses. They treat it as data to adjust their approach. It is this calmness in the face of errors that makes them trustworthy, because no one respects someone who constantly shifts blame onto circumstances. The Stoic does not wait for opportunities to prove themselves. They create opportunities through clear actions, steadfastness in their words, and the mindset: if this is mine to do, I will give my best. If not, I will not complain. This is the spirit of a person of substance, someone whose mere presence reassures others that things will be handled well. Strategy 5. Value collaboration and teamwork. No one can create great value alone. Every lasting achievement is built through cooperation among people who trust one another. In Stoic philosophy, humans are part of a rational community, meaning we exist not in isolation, but to contribute. When you learn to coordinate harmoniously, respect differing opinions, and prioritize the common good over the self, you take a significant step toward becoming someone genuinely valued by others. The power of collaboration doesn't lie in who does more, but in how everyone moves toward a single goal together. A team is truly strong only when each individual feels that their voice matters. Therefore, the most respected person in a group isn't the one who gives orders, but the one who inspires others to follow. They listen, they guide, and they step back to let others shine. When it's time, they share the credit. When problems arise, they take responsibility first. It is this fairness that makes people willingly follow them without coercion. Collaboration is, at its core, a test of ego and humility. When you are secure enough to acknowledge others' abilities, not envy their successes, and not dismiss small contributions, you demonstrate your true value. The Stoic doesn't need to prove themselves through position. They prove it by making the group better simply by being part of it. And when they leave, those who remain continue to grow from what they've sown. That is the mark of someone who is truly valuable. Building an authentic personal brand is also a powerful strategy. In a world where everyone is trying to impress, honesty becomes rare, and therefore especially valuable. A personal brand isn't a flashy exterior. It's a true identity forged through consistency. Thinking what you mean, saying what you think, and following through with action. When others sense your reliability, they remember you not just for your talent, but for the sense of assurance you bring. For the Stoic, this is the most enduring form of value, a value that needs no promotion, only to be lived authentically. A brand isn't something you create in a single article or a few presentations. It's built through the small, repeated details of everyday life: how you greet others, how you respond to criticism, how you handle mistakes, and how you show respect even to those of different status. It is these ordinary moments that leave a lasting impression. And if every action comes from integrity, you don't need to tell anyone who you are. They will see it for themselves. The Stoic doesn't build a brand through image, but through character. They understand that to be respected by others, they must first respect themselves. You cannot demand trust from the world if you still doubt yourself within. So start by identifying the core values you truly believe in: honesty, responsibility, humility, or perseverance. Don't try to emulate anyone else. Let your identity be shaped through your actions, through how you work, and through how you treat those around you. When behavior aligns with values, you become a living brand, something that cannot be replicated. Strategy 7. Exceed expectations. A person's true value often shows most clearly in the work no one sees. Exceeding expectations isn't about impressing others. It's a reflection of dedication and responsibility toward the work you've chosen. Stoics believe that if something is worth doing, it's worth doing well. Not for reward or praise, but because every action reflects the character of the person performing it. When you choose to do a little better, persist a little longer, and be a little more thorough, those small efforts accumulate, and eventually they set you apart from the crowd. Exceeding expectations doesn't mean overworking or being a perfectionist. It's about the subtlety in refining every detail. When submitting a report, you give it one final check to ensure no small errors remain. When agreeing to help someone, you think one step further to truly make things easier for them, rather than just getting it done. When asked for feedback, you spend a few extra minutes analyzing deeply instead of offering superficial comments. These actions, quiet as they may be, serve as powerful evidence of your character. Because those with true inner strength never settle for just enough. What makes exceeding expectations rare isn't that it's difficult, but that many people only perform when someone is watching. They treat work as a performance, while the Stoic sees it as practice. Every task becomes an opportunity to exercise virtues, patience, precision, and dedication. When you go beyond expectations without seeking recognition, you reach a new level, where joy comes from the process, not the spotlight. And in time, recognition follows naturally, without having to demand it. The next strategy is speak up for yourself. Some people work hard and live with integrity, but remain unseen and unrecognized. Not because they lack ability, but because they stay silent for too long. While others talk about their own value, they choose to be patient, hoping people will understand on their own. But the world doesn't work that way. Value, if not clearly expressed, gradually fades into the background. Speaking up for yourself isn't arrogance, it's an act of self-respect, a recognition of what you bring and what you deserve. Speaking up begins with a clear awareness of your own value. When you understand how you contribute and the impact you make, you speak with confidence rather than defensiveness. The Stoic doesn't seek blind agreement. They simply present the truth calmly and rationally. They don't exaggerate their achievements, but they also don't diminish their worth. They know that if they remain silent too long, others will assume they are content with everything, and in doing so, allow others to define their limits. In any environment, those who speak up at the right time earn respect. They not only protect their own interests, but also uphold the value of work and fairness. They don't speak for praise, but to maintain clarity and prevent wrong from becoming accepted. The Stoic understands that silence can be a virtue of humility, but if silence allows truth to be distorted, it becomes a form of weakness. And sometimes, calmly speaking, what is right is the most courageous act you can take. Strategy 9. Develop emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence can sometimes be more important than intellectual reasoning. You can persuade others with logic, but you can only truly reach them through emotion. The Stoic does not deny emotions. They simply refuse to be controlled by them. For them, emotions are signals, not commands. Understanding this is the first step toward becoming calmer, wiser, and more trustworthy in the eyes of others. Emotional intelligence begins with self-awareness, the ability to observe yourself while reacting. When someone irritates you, instead of responding immediately, pause and look inward. What is truly making you upset? Is it their behavior or the feeling of being disrespected, ignored, or losing control? By correctly identifying the emotion, you strip it of its power over you. The Stoic treats every moment of anger, fear, or hurt as practice, a chance to observe the emotion from the outside and choose a response guided by reason rather than instinct. Ultimately, developing emotional intelligence isn't about becoming agreeable to everyone, but about maintaining balance in every situation. You can speak hard truths without hurting others. You can disagree without arguing. And when faced with failure, you don't collapse. You observe, learn, and move forward. Emotional intelligence is the ability to remain steady amid turbulence, not by suppressing emotions, but by understanding and navigating them. The Stoic believes that when you master your emotions, you are not only more respected, you also become someone who makes others feel safe in your presence. Strategy 10. Commit to lifelong learning. One of the clearest signs of a living mind is curiosity. When people stop learning, they don't just pause, they start to regress. For the Stoic, learning isn't merely about accumulating knowledge. It's about training the mind to see the world with fresh eyes each day. Knowledge only matters when it makes us calmer, wiser, and better at living rightly. The Stoic doesn't learn to argue or show off, but to understand themselves and the world around them. The Stoic also understands that knowledge, if not shared, gradually fades. When you share what you know, you not only help others, but also compel yourself to understand more deeply. Each time you explain something, you reinforce it in your own mind. And when listening to others, treat it as an opportunity to learn. Because even someone you disagree with can offer a perspective you hadn't considered before. Lifelong learning is a journey without a finish line. It isn't a race to know more, but a path to become deeper. The more a person learns, the more they realize how little they truly know. And it is this humility that sets them apart. In a constantly changing world, those who maintain a thirst for knowledge will never fall behind. They understand that learning isn't about reaching a destination, but about moving forward, bit by bit, with a calm awareness that they are growing a little every day. Strategy 11. Maintain a positive attitude. Your attitude is the one thing no one can take from you, unless you willingly give it up. The Stoic doesn't try to see life through rose-colored lenses, but they choose not to let the external world dictate their inner state. They understand that life is inherently unfair, people are imperfect, and misfortune is unavoidable. Yet amid all this, we still have a choice. The choice of perspective, of response, and of how to move forward. It is this choice that defines the character of a truly positive person. A positive attitude doesn't come from forcing yourself to be happy, but from the ability to keep a clear mind amid adversity. When things go wrong, the Stoic doesn't ask, "Why me?" but rather, "What can I learn from this?" They do not deny sadness, but they refuse to be consumed by it. They allow themselves to feel, yet remain in control of their emotions. And when circumstances grow difficult, they remind themselves, "As long as I can still control my thoughts, I have not lost everything." This is the quiet strength that keeps them standing when others fall. In a turbulent world, those who maintain a positive attitude are like a light in the storm. They don't shine through words, but through the way they live. When you approach everything with trust, calmness, and a willingness to learn, you inspire those around you effortlessly. Ultimately, a positive attitude isn't about believing that everything is good, but believing that, no matter what happens, you will be okay. Strategy 12. Practice sustainable self-care. No one can maintain mental strength when body and mind are depleted. The Stoic understands that self-mastery doesn't mean neglecting yourself, but caring for yourself with discipline. Inner resilience isn't born from endless endurance, but from balancing effort with recovery. You cannot help anyone or accomplish any mission if you yourself are running on empty. Therefore, self-care isn't selfish. It's part of the responsibility of living a meaningful life. Sustainable self-care begins with the small things we often overlook: sufficient sleep, healthy meals, a few minutes of quiet during the day. The Stoic doesn't seek comfort in luxury, but in intentional simplicity, stepping away from noise, breathing slowly, and clearing the mind of unnecessary distractions. They understand that a healthy body is a tool for a clear mind. When the body is fatigued, reason weakens. When the mind is unsettled, emotions can easily lead us astray. Therefore, taking timely rest isn't laziness, it's respect for your own life energy. Self-care also means learning to say enough, knowing when to stop before overexertion, stepping away from work to regain clarity, and declining demands that weigh down the mind. Sometimes what we need isn't more motivation, but more silence. The Stoic believes that true strength doesn't lie in enduring more than others, but in recognizing your own limits and adjusting before collapse. That is wisdom, not weakness. The final strategy is celebrate achievements mindfully. In the rush of modern life, people often hurry past the very moments they work so hard to reach. When one goal is achieved, they pause for only a few seconds before chasing the next, as if joy were not allowed to linger. But for the Stoic, celebration isn't about stopping. It's about recognizing the value of the journey. They understand that acknowledging small victories is how great motivation is sustained, and ignoring them is how the spirit becomes drained. Mindful celebration doesn't require showmanship, crowds, or applause. It can be a quiet afternoon where you simply sit, reflect on how far you've come, and smile to yourself. Not the smile of a victor, but of someone who refused to give up. The Stoic doesn't measure success by the size of the outcome, but by the effort poured into each action. They celebrate not because they've achieved something, but because they've stayed true to their values throughout the journey. The Stoic celebrates with stillness and gratitude. They use that moment to thank those who have walked beside them, the challenges that have shaped them, and themselves for not giving up. They don't see achievement as an endpoint, but as a milestone from which to move forward with greater steadiness. Mindful celebration helps them maintain balance between confidence and humility, between happiness and responsibility. Because in the end, the greatest achievement isn't how far you've gone, but how much you've grown along the way. And when you learn to celebrate quietly, without needing anyone to witness it, you've become someone who truly understands your own worth, deeply, steadily, and sincerely. After walking through the 13 Stoic strategies, you've probably realized that becoming valuable isn't a goal, it's a natural result of how you live each day. True value doesn't come from how many people you please or how admired you are. It comes from how you discipline yourself to become someone others can trust, respect, and feel at peace around. When you learn to master your emotions, maintain a positive attitude, care for yourself, live with discipline, and truly listen to others, you not only change the way the world sees you, but also the way you see yourself. Because a truly valuable person doesn't need to prove anything, they simply show up with calmness and kindness, and the world naturally takes notice. If this message resonates with you, take a second to hit like, not just to support the video, but to affirm that you're on your own journey of inner strength. Leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. So each week, you'll receive more insightful lessons on how to live with calm, resilience, and true value in this ever-changing world.